So for this year, I've decided to add a dumbbell set to my home gym, and after some comparison between a bunch of different brands, I've decided to go with the Cap Hex rubber-coated dumbbells, simply because at the end of the day, even with the tower rack for the dumbbells that I purchased separately, in terms of price, the Cap dumbbells were just miles away from anything else. They were far, far cheaper from anything else for a set of 5 to 50 pounds. That being said, by no means are these Cap dumbbells just far, far less superior than anything else, at least that I've tried. I've worked out in a good amount of your corporate gyms like your LA Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, the YMCA, Crunch Fitness, stuff like that. And these Cap dumbbells are just mid-tier. They work, they do what they're supposed to. They're not, like mind-blowingly better than anything. They're not mind-blowingly worse than anything. They are just mid-tier. They are what they are. They do what they're supposed to do. And that's pretty much my quick review of them. If they're in your budget, or at least if you're looking for a really cheap set of dumbbells, these are the way to go. These are really good dumbbells for the price, bar none. So that makes the review section for the Cap dumbbells pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I recommend them. They're really good for the price. So for the rest of the video, I kind of want to talk to you about my experience and some of the things to look out for when you purchase these things. All right, so I got my phone open and my Walmart app open because that's where I personally purchased this combination of weight sets. And from my app, it says my subtotal for the entire order with the dumbbell set and the weight tree, it was $465 minus $53 in essentially savings. So I paid $412 subtotal before tax. Now again, I purchased the spinning weight rack for the dumbbells separately. So they were originally $175 down to $50 for clearance. And so that means my $412 minus $50 is $362 for the 5 to 50 pound Cap weight set. Obviously, I can't speak for when you purchase your weights and from where or what research you're doing, but $362 for 5 to 50 pounds is absolutely insane. That's like a third, a little bit less than half of even the closest competition. $362 is an absolute steal, not to mention the crazy spinning weight rack that only cost me $50. So again, in terms of price per pound, these Cap dumbbells, at least when I purchased them around the Black Friday Christmas sale time of 2024, it was absolutely insane. They were getting sold out like crazy. I had them in cart and it was just like, I was like, maybe I should buy, maybe not, maybe I should hold out for something better, just thinking that kind of way. And then like, I was just watching it and people were just buying these things like crazy till it went back in stock and all of a sudden I saw a price drop in it and that's when I bounced on it and I got it for $362. However, I wouldn't exactly say that my purchase experience was perfect. Again, I purchased these from Walmart, and the way that Walmart ships these things, they had some of the dumbbells in stock, obviously, from various stores, like your lower weight ones, like your 10s, 20s, stuff like that. So they would have local carriers pick up the ones in store and bring it to me. And the problem with that is I purchased them during winter in Washington State where it rains a lot. So they're just hand holding these things, walking around in the rain. So some of it did show signs of like water spots, this and that. And overall, it is what it is. So that was a minor annoyance, but then everything else, the whole set shipped in like 7 shipments or something like that. They shipped as they became available. So not everything came at once, and the shipping times were definitely like very spaced out, and it took me a few weeks to get everything. Now with the smaller weights, like again, your 5, 10s, 20s up to like maybe 25 pounds, shipping was okay because they can place them in a single box. Sometimes they ship them as a single, let's say a single 10 pound. Sometimes they ship them as a pair. But even at the lower weights, when you ship them as a pair, you put them in a box, or at least Walmart put them in a box and ship them, that's fine. But then when it came to the heavier weights, like your 40s and 50s, Walmart for some reason didn't think to reinforce the box and just put in a standard, very ordinary cardboard box. And essentially the weights just blew through these boxes and destroyed them. And I was watching my tracking in terms of shipment, and I could see that for some reason it kept saying, this barcode is unreadable. So we had to redo the barcode. And in hindsight, I found out later, just looking at the final shipment, it's because again, the weights kept blowing out the box, destroying them, and FedEx didn't have a box to actually bring to me. And the 40 pounds, I remember they actually came single, just out of the box and everything, and FedEx had to just zip tie a tracking label on it. They just zip tied a tracking label and handed me a dumbbell, 40 pounds, and it's like, hey, here you go. I mean, there's nothing we can do. Walmart really just put it in a box and it got destroyed, and it is what it is. So I guess if you are buying from Walmart, that's just something that I want you to be aware of. Shipment is probably going to be not absolutely terrible, but some of your stuff is going to be damaged, because definitely my heavier weights that got destroyed during shipment, you can see that the rubber coating is a little bit worn down, a little bit damaged. But I spoke to Walmart that they want me to pretty much just like ship it back and exchange it. I was like, how am I possibly going to ship it back? What am I going to do? Put in another cardboard box for it to be completely destroyed and possibly lost during shipment? So it kind of is what it is in my situation. So for you, it might be different, but if it's the same, you just have to consider, like, is it worth trying to exchange it or not? For me, they're dumbbells, people are gonna work out with them, drop them, they're gonna get dinged up no matter what. So I'd rather take the price savings. I'd rather just start working out with them now. In terms of the Carousel weight tree, I also purchased that through Walmart, and shipment, in terms of packaging, I would say it's better. It came in a larger cardboard box that was reinforced with plywood, but it was like 16th inch plywood. It was like barely nothing. It's like paper thin. So all the plywood started like cracking and breaking during shipment, because the tower rack itself is fairly heavy. It's gotta be like 100+ pounds or somewhere around there, because I had to two-hand hold it and like lift it up. It's pretty heavy. So it also damaged its shipping box, and it in itself also got damaged. On the rack that I received, you can see that some of the vertical members are actually bent and twisted and whatnot. And then the feet that's holding everything in place is a clover shape. There's 4 round sections perpendicular to each other. So 2 of them on opposite ends are actually bent, so that the rack itself doesn't necessarily sit flat to the ground. And again, it is what it is, 50 bucks. I'm willing to take it, but just look out. So let's just consider that I didn't receive a damaged product and you don't receive a damaged product. In terms of the product itself, the Carousel weight rack, this thing is like so freaking awesome, because it saves you, for a home gym owner, this saves you so much space, because all your weights are just vertical instead of a horizontal rack like you're probably used to seeing. And the fact that it spins around where you can just grab weights that you need, it's pretty awesome. And I can definitely recommend this, especially for the $50 that you're gonna spend, if you can still get it during clearance. My only real complaint with this weight rack in terms of design is the fact that all the weights, in terms of small weights, are on one side. Let's say like 5 to 20 or whatever it may be. 5 to 20 on one side, then the opposite side would be your 20 to 30. I'm just making those weight up. But so 5 to 20 on one side, and then 20 to 30 on the opposite side, and then your 2 perpendicular side would be your 40s and your 50s. Again, I'm just making those numbers up, but that's essentially how this weight rack works. So your lighter weights are on one side, and then perpendicular, your heavier weights. And to me, that's just a little bit annoying, because that pretty much forces you to put your sets, let's say 5-5, on top of each other. So every time you grab your weights, you're stacking them on top of each other. You're trying to get them off like that. And when you get heavier, it's just a little bit of a weird design. It's awkward and could be a little bit dangerous if you're not careful. It also doesn't help that the space to put the weights in are essentially just the size of your fist. So if you have wider hands, you're more likely to get caught up on the 2 uprights and just scratch your hands up. So just be careful. If you want to be really cautious, obviously just hold the weights one at a time and put them up from the sides. Lift from the sides and put them into the rack, and that's pretty flawless. So aside from the weird design, which is kind of completely understandable just because of the space saving, and aside from the damage of my product, this spinning carousel dumbbell weight rack is it's a complete recommendation. It's a really good product for the price, especially for the price. It's a really good product, and the space saving in terms of my home gym is, out of this world. One thing that I do want to mention about this dumbbell weight rack is, from my video, you'll see that I have casters installed on my weight rack, and that doesn't come with it. I just bought the casters separately and installed them. If you're interested in the ones that I purchased, there'll be links below. But again, they don't come with it. I just add them on because I do move the products in my gym around quite a bit, so having wheels on everything just helps. So that's gonna be it, a pretty simple and straightforward video because again, for the price, it's an easy recommendation for the cap rubber coated Hex dumbbells, but we'll just have to see. Long term, maybe after a couple drops, they'll just explode and the rubber crumble everywhere, we'll see. But again, for now, it's an easy recommendation. They're a great set for the price. And the Carousel dumbbell weight rack, also an easy recommendation just because it saves you so much space. And for the price, $50, again, you can't really beat that. This is an amazing combo from Walmart. I hope this video has helped you out. If it did, I'd appreciate if you can give the video a thumbs up, share it around, comment down below with any thoughts or questions that you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. And if you want to further support my work, consider hitting the join button down below to become a member of this channel or become a patron on Patron. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.